Woo! Good morning, everybody out there in Facebook land, TikTok world, everywhere. There's going to be a clip of this or a live recording thereof. Welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. I am Monty Anderson, your host here at 412 Productions, The Art of Monty Anderson. Hopefully, you all are doing great out there, having a good time. Going to be an interesting morning, I feel already. Just because this cat ball right here has already rolled across my desk and landed directly on top of my U.S. flag patch that I've got sitting here on my desk. Which shouldn't have happened that way. Let's just go that route. So, we're going to see what all is going to happen this morning. I'm going to sound a little bit on the froggy side this morning just because I am coming off of a illness. Don't know what it was. Kind of feels like the flu-ish type. I guess that's going around pretty hot and heavy right now. And the only place I know that I could have caught it from would have been the gym. Because that's about the only place that I've been to recently was the gym, other than, your typical Walmart and shit like that, which Walmart is a cesspool. I get it. So I'm still under the weather with it all. So luckily, I don't have to work out until tomorrow. So I still have another day to recoup. But, got all this kind of junk going on. And then house stuff. House stuff. You gotta love house stuff. We'll get into everything here in just a little bit. Down with the Sickness is today's title. Welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. I am Monty Anderson, your host here at 412 Productions, The Art of Monty Anderson. And this is how I feel today. And this is one of our designs right here. Not friendly, do not touch. I may hurt your feelings too. So there you go. So yes, I am wearing one of my shirts. We have plenty available for you. You can get them right here on TikTok. There you go, TikTok, for your viewing pleasure. All right, so like I said, so far this morning, and there's no rhyme or reason for it because you see this cat ball right here is sitting completely still. There is no movement, none of that good stuff. It's right here, sitting still. It just rolled just a minute ago, right before I went to live, and rolled right over onto, like I said, my U.S. Army patch that I've got sitting here on my desk. Because, yes, I'm a veteran. So, thank you there. Yes, you got it, Chops Bear. How did you get it? Wow. Wow. Such an astute crowd this morning. Let me get my guitar. Hold on. And I'll play you a little song from the Partridge Family. Bonaducci at your service. Thanks for playing. So, how's everybody doing out there? Hopefully, you haven't succumbed to the illness that is floating around, apparently. Because even the VA said that they're getting a lot more rash of calls in on the illness so far uh, than they have in the past. And I've heard from other people out there that it's going around pretty hot and heavy as well. So hopefully you can avoid it. If not, it's not highly recommended to catch any illness at all. But I know it does happen, and it does go around. So hopefully you can avoid it at all costs. Good morning, Mr. Casey. I think I saw Roy pop on, but I'm not 100% sure just a moment ago. Hopefully you're doing okay, Mr. Casey. Hopefully life is treating you good. I am still in that froggy sense of the word, if you will. I'm a little hot and sweaty right now. Um, but we're gonna survive. We're gonna push through, and you're not bad. Good to hear. Good to hear. You got your coffee in hand, I hope. Yes, Mr. Roy has joined. There he is. 24 degrees. I wish we had that going on right now instead of what are we sitting at right now? I'll tell you here in a second. We're supposed to get rain potential. We were supposed to be getting rain for the past 2 days. We're sitting at 65 right now. We're supposed to be by Monday. We're supposed to be up in 81 degrees. freaking ridiculous. I mean, I know we're what tomorrow is we spring forward, so and and then it's the time change. It stays light until you know midnight for the most part for some people. A lot of people hate this time change. I love to have the daylight lasting a lot longer. You know, it gives you more time in the day to do shit. So, sorry about that. So I've been adding a lot more detail to my ghost face piece here, adding a little more blood splatter. I think I'm going to have it go around his head just a little bit more. Not 100% sure yet. I like the idea, but it would just be a little bit of a cast off going right back here. Ballerina, welcome to the show. I'm feeling rough still, but I'm going to survive. Like I said, I'm a little on the sweaty side this morning, and it's still lingering just a little bit, but I think today will be the last day of it. Ended up breaking a water pipe yesterday. While I was we were working on our pond where our fish are, the koi and goldfish and stuff like that. And so, uh, pulling on some hose and things like that, and ended up breaking it from the house and yada yada yada. I was pissed off, pretty hot and heavy. I was very upset. And so I had to run to Ace Hardware and grab some supplies, some more plumbing supplies because I didn't have the right size for that fitting for those pipes because it was a 3/4 inch pipe instead of what is everywhere else in the fucking house. And then what we have on hand, that was left by the previous owners. So I had to run, grab some supplies, grab some fittings, grab some L curves and stuff like that. Finally thinned out my clothes, got one 35-gram trash bag full, and second is half full. 35 gram. Is that just like your 35 gallon, not gram. Woo! Let my brain here for a second. Oh, I've been seeing a lot of drug bust here lately, so grams are hitting my brain. Sorry about that. Oh boy. Um. Well, that's good. I mean, you can donate those. Hopefully, that's what you're doing. No, my sweaty brain is making me think right now. Like I said, coming off the illness and things just still aren't there. I was laid up in bed for basically 2.5 days. Didn't want to do anything, and it made my body hurt. So I physically forced myself to get up yesterday, and we went out and about. Went and found some killer finds at one of our local antique stores. Um, we found some cool stuff as well for her aunt, who's now making jewelry, and so we got her some silver jewelry, or not jewelry, but silverware. See, my brain is still in a fog. And some marbles that we found at the antique store, so that she can make some cool snails and stuff like that for her garden and other people if they want them and things like that. And we did find some killer stuff that we're going to get into on some older comic books that we did find. Some very cool stuff. Some stuff that I used to have in my collection before I ended up selling most of it all off. And and so um lots of stuff is happening. Like I said, went and got the fittings for the water pipe that comes out of the side of the house from the utility room. Instead of them coming under the house from a normal pipe, they hooked it into the utility room, and it hooks off of the washer uh, pipes, the cold water pipe there. And so now it's more secure on the outside of the house. They just had it sticking straight out and just kind of flopping in the breeze. They had a stick posted up underneath it to keep it from, falling down and all that good stuff. So now I've got it bolted to the side of the house. I've got it L L'd from the wall. I used an L bracket and cut it and put it up against the side of the house. So now I've just got to basically add a small piece of wood underneath it and then bolt it down to keep it where I can, unhook the hose and all that stuff during the wintertime. So, got the pond back up and running last night. We had the fish in a tote, and one of our koi fish decided he was going to be free. So, he jumped out of the tote and landed back in the pond that still had some water in it from, us cleaning it out. And I was like, look, I got out there to fill it, and I was like, why do I have a koi in the pond? We took out all the fish, you know? And I'm like, so I took a picture of it and I said, well, I think I found the other koi. But then once we got to putting the fish back into the pond, it was like, oh, so he jumped out of the tank, out of the tote and jumped back into the pond that had no water in it. So I'm glad he didn't injure himself, number one, uh, because he's a big boy. He's about yay, yay long and probably about that fat, you know. For a koi, that's pretty small. But the pond isn't that huge either. So, but we got it filled back up, got the mosses and the grasses and stuff like that that we've been picking up from lakes and stuff like that. Good morning, Tammy. How are we doing this morning? Hopefully you're doing well. And it's a Saturday. You're not going to work, right? What are you doing up so early? I figured you'd be sleeping in on your Saturday. And so got it back full and put the chemicals back in it so that it's not just the regular tap water, in your pond. Oh, it's raining. Well, it's supposed to be raining here since yesterday, but we're apparently not going to be getting rain until sometime later today, about 5 a.m. I think it said. Yeah, heavy rain in about 1.5 hours. It says. So we're supposed to be getting some good thunderstorms with the potential for tornadoes and some pretty bad cells blowing through this area. I know that in Oklahoma they've already had plenty of tornadoes and stuff like that. So, but and so for those of you just joining, my cat ball that's sitting right here is sitting on top of a eraser. Right before I started filming, it went rolling across my desk and landed straight up on my American flag over here. So I'm hoping it does it again, but you guys got to keep in mind, you got to watch right here as well. I mean, you can watch anywhere you want to. I'm just giving you suggestions because there's a cat ball on her head right here. It's been going off periodically. Not for you guys up here. You guys watch right there. That's where the cat ball is, and there's a cat ball right down here by her side. See, I need to get my camera up here so that we're all pointing at the same place at the same time, all that good stuff. Yes, hopefully no tornadoes, but if it happens, I'm pulling out my lawn chair. Oh, wait, it's already on my deck, so all I got to do is just sit in it. Tornadoes don't bother me. I've been through so many so far in my life that it's just another occurrence. Lightning strikes close by, all those good things. I've been through a lot, and I like me some tornadoes. Thanks for the gifts out there. That's much appreciated. All that 13 cents goes back into my printing process. That's about how much I make, on a show, on a live show. About 13 cents or so. Anywhere between 8 and 13 cents. We've made a little bit of bank on here at getting close to $10, but that's very rare and far between, and that's okay. It's not. I don't do this for the money. I really don't, and I do it for the entertainment value. Because listen to me sound like one of the Frog Boys from the Lost Boys. That's entertainment enough, you know. I watched Lost Boys Tribe just the other day on Tubi. If you don't have Tubi, I would suggest getting Tubi. They have pretty much every movie known to man on there, from classics from the 1930s and 40s to modern day bangers that are coming out today, in 2026. So if you don't have Tubi on your streaming device, add it. Yeah, you have to watch a couple of ads here and there while your movie's going on, but it's no different than watching your favorite TV show. Roy, Chicago Fire, Chicago PD, Chicago ER, or Chicago Med is what it's called. Those type things. Especially since you don't have the streaming channels, you're watching your regular channels anyway. So, but if you ever do get Wi-Fi, you get Tubi, and you can watch anything out there. I've been watching a lot of horror movies on there. Some that have been recommended, things of that nature, and by TikTok viewers and things like that. So, all right. So, my office is a disaster again. There's a lot of stuff that needs to get moved out of here. Like I said, I've got this big panel right here that's got to be moved out and put on the chicken coop. Get everything hooked up in there to see if it actually works. And Roy, that's you. We know you're using something from Saved by the Bell, uh, back in the day, and it's okay, Roy. It's okay. Everybody knows you as Miracle Whip Boy anyway, so it's all good. So when we were out and about, we found a lot of cool stuff, but I always stop at this one vendor because why? They have dollar comics. So yes, I get suckered in because yeah, they're not the greatest of conditions for some, but he does sell stuff way below cost. Um, these are some Whitman UFO and outer space. Let me what the flip? What the flying flip? Oh, he's got the self sealing. I hate these. I'm just gonna be honest. I hate the self sealing because they suck ass. They do that just that little thing right there. All right, so this is UFO in outer space. I don't know which issue these are, but these are from. I couldn't even tell you a date. But UFO in outer space, right here. Since I'm a UFO nut, X Files, all that good stuff. My nickname is off of Yosemite Sam, but that's one. And it does have a little bit of water damage right there at the top. You can see it right there. And I'm not worried about that. I mean, UFO in outer space, and I'll get into it and see which ones these are. Reader's report. Tensely we stood, each waiting for the other to make the first move. And see, like this one, it's the corner's pretty bad. All that good stuff right there in the very lower corner. Not here because this is part of the drawing, but right here in this back corner. Oops, I knocked that off. Sorry. But both of these took water damage. They were obviously in the same box when it got some water damage, but you can see the water damage right there going up right there. And on the back, you can see it pretty good right there. Right there. But that's okay. These will be in the personal collection. Now, some things that are kind of hard to come by from the air cell. I got two number ones of the Elf Lord. This is the first printing of it. This was a fun little read back in the day. And this is the reprint of number one as well. And it says reprint of the original black and white series. So it didn't take them long to reprint that series because it was a fun little series. And then I'm a big ElfQuest fan. Now, me, the Wave Dancers, right here. This one's a good series too. This one's number 5. Obviously, this is their sea elves right here with this one. And then you can never go wrong with an X Force number 1, still sealed. Of course, I don't know which card is in this one, but we're about to find out. This one has the backer board. There's some thunder happening. This is the group shot. So it's not the sought after one, which is Daredevil. Or correction, Deadpool card. So this one is card number or a card, which is the group shot. Which is fine. I've got them all anyway. And then Shadow Man #1. And see, this bag's already ripped to shreds already. Because people have already looked at it to see which one it was. I did not. I just picked it up since it was there. Shadow Man #1. Complete black cover. Front to back. Which means I can draw on this one. Oh. The Shadow Man stuff. The Shadow Man cometh. Right there. And then just Eclipse had a lot of cool, obscure stuff. I wish I could have found the rest of these. This is issue 4 of 4 by Acme Press, Eclipse International. Stormwatcher. Just a pretty cool cover. Plus, Clive Barker's Tapping the Vein, which I need to find that one. I need to find those because I used to have them as well. But this is just a cool cover. I thought it was very cool. And of course, again, ElfQuest #15. We don't have it in our collection, but we do now. And yes, it is a little bent up, but that's okay. Again, personal collection. Yes, you want, you know, mint condition stuff on a regular basis, but sometimes you're not always going to find mint condition. Let's see. Those we'll get into. Dirty Pair, a Ben Dunn, basically production 1 of 5 manga right here at its finest. 1989. You got to remember, some of these books are pretty old. And then one of my favorite series, but we'll get into that here in just a second. But Ninja High School, this thing has been around for 200 episodes. 200 episodes, you know. Right here, this is issue number 3, 4, and 5 of Ninja High School. Ben Dunn, who I'm in correspondence with, I do comic reviews for him for Antarctic Press. This was his baby back in the day, and it still is, Ninja High School. It still has his, you know, moniker written all over it. Still has his style of artwork all over it. And I mean, right there is his signature, Ben Dunn, right there next to her leg. Right there. Oops, let me get it all the way up there. Right there. Right there. Boom, boom, boom. And that piece of concrete or wood or whatever that's supposed to be. But those are hard to come by. I mean, you're 200 issues in. What, are you taking off? Wow, we're only 20 minutes in and you're leaving? Wow. What a case right there. Miracle Whip Boy is taking off. All right. Then one of my favorite series, book 1 of 4. We didn't find number 4, but we found 1 through 3 of the Demon, Etrigan. Right there. Oops, sorry. Right there. Where I did the remark on this. One of my favorite characters of all time, Etrigan the Demon. I just killed Wonder Woman. You'll be all right. So I did find 2 number 1s of that one. So I went ahead and picked up 2 of those because you see one is a little bit different than the other. Plus, it had the Karate Kid playset on the back. You can't go wrong with that. And then number 2, right there. And got all these for $1, you know? And number 3 out of 4. And these are in really good shape. So, and I know that these sell for way more than $1. So that's our big pickup so far from that place. He's got a ton of comic books. I mean, if you just wanted to start a collection, go to Treasures at Century Plaza over there by the new Chick-fil-A in Fort Smith, and go in there. He's midway through the establishment. Can't miss his booth. He's got tons of comic book boxes all over the place. And if you just wanted to start a collection, let's say you wanted to start with Warlord. Great comic book series. If I wanted to get that series again, he has got probably number 20 through 50 or 60 something, on Warlord. But that was a fun comic to have had before as well. And he had a lot of issues that I used to have in my own collection. So, so I guess we're losing Roy for whatever reason. He's getting scared of the thunder, I guess. I don't know. Because the thunder is coming hot and heavy. So that means the rain will be coming in soon, coming in hot, which is cool, which is fine. But so we've had a slow drain as well in the house, in the bathtub. So I got into looking at it last night, and it's looking like, well, it's going to be best just to redo all the plumbing underneath the house from the bathroom area. I hate doing plumbing work. It's a nasty job. It's quick, it's easy, but it's nasty. Especially when you need to redo the toilet section, you need to redo the bathtub section, the sink, all that good stuff. So that's what's going to be happening. All that good stuff is going to be redone because it's got to be. But it is what it is. But I did get some little connectors to make my life a little easier when it comes to working on my vehicle. You put your wire in here, clamp it down, and then you clamp these two ends together, and it creates a seal that can be broken, obviously. Right there, those clamp together. Yes, I got these off the TikTok shop. I haven't used them yet, but I will. That's what's going to be running my new lights, my daytime running lights, and my fog lights right there. So you've probably seen those advertised on the TikTok shop a million times. And there's a couple in here. Can't say there's not very many, but there's a couple right there when it's all said and done. All right. So our baby chicks, they're about to outgrow this tote in here. Excuse me, and we got to move them to a bigger home, which we've got one ready. Just got to add the wood bedding in there and all that good stuff. And then they'll have a nice little bigger spot to grow into a little bit more until we can get them out to the actual brooding box with the chickens to introduce them all together so that, they don't destroy each other, because that's what happens with chickens. They will peck the youngins and take them off the planet, if you will. So we don't want that to happen because they're cute little guys and girls. Hopefully they're more girls than guys, but we're not 100% sure yet. We'll know better once we are able to, get them moved around a little bit more. All right. So again, lots of artwork is happening around here, even though you're not seeing it. I'm working on the big, massive piece, the 18 by 24. I've got the 3 characters laid down. I'm getting their weapons in hand. I'm getting the outfits going for the God of War piece. And then I've got to start adding the creatures coming in to attack and all that good stuff. The book signing was supposed to be this weekend, today, as a matter of fact, or no, tomorrow, as a matter of fact, but they had to get changed because he didn't have the books in house yet. So he had to move it out until the 14th, which is next weekend, which looks like Saturday. Yes, it's Saturday the 14th. And so we'll be doing the book signing then instead of the 8th, which would have been tomorrow, which is what the original date was. I am working on a piece for him as well. Run under somewhere. It's right over there. And I'll probably be inking that one up during the show. I'm hoping to have another one ready as well. One of his other characters that is in the book. And then work on a third character. Because he's also got a devil type character in there as well. That is going to be more his character, if you will, a likeness of him. So he said he's getting his hair done, getting his hair did, and he's going to send me pictures, and I'm going to create the character off of that. So we'll go from there with that. And I appreciate the 18.7 thousand likes. That puts us in the live popular category, the popular live category. So that's very good. And, but yeah, there's lots of stuff moving around behind the scenes that you guys don't get to see on a regular basis. And just because with the homestead going, with all the different aspects going in here and things of that nature, there's just so much that happens that I don't talk about. I did put up a hypothetical question the other day, though, and we're going to get into it right here, right now, today. Some of you have already answered this question. Again, hypothetical situation. So, and I see this from other creators, not just myself. And I'm going to bring up two different points. Not just about this situation, but another situation as well. So we as artists get approached by people on a regular basis that want a commission done. We give them our price. Most people are okay with it because we have a payment plan. And we usually don't get started on the project until at least half is paid. Okay? And so here's the question, or here's the hypothetical situation. So someone approaches me with a project that they want done. They tell me it's for a birthday party, all this stuff, and they want to give it to this person, their friend. And they're wanting to promote me as well. I give them my price of the size piece that they asked for, which is bigger than these two pieces, which is the size of the, let's say it's the size of the Ozzy Osbourne pieces, the 16 by 20 canvas painting. I give them my price. I don't hear from them for a day, and then they come back and they spit out a price quote. Well, I was hoping it would be this much. Well, knowing that they're in the professional field as well, I asked them a simple question. I basically just asked them, again, all hypothetical. So, whenever you are going for your job, do you negotiate a price for what you do with the person that you're dealing with? And they immediately come back with, well, of course I do. And I'm thinking to myself, no, you don't. And then they give me the big brush off, basically, saying basically that, again, all hypothetical, that, it's just best to be friends and not do business together. Okay, cool. So, in that situation, would you stick to your guns or would you come down to the price that they quoted you? That's the question. And I know I'm not the only artist that gets approached with this because I've seen it a lot. People have talked about that throughout many different forums that I'm on, or pages that I'm on when it comes to art pages and things like that. So what would you do? Would you stick to your guns of your original price, not knowing this person from Adam or Eve, and you give them your price, what pays your bills, because I don't do this for funsies, the stuff I draw, I get commissioned to do, and people pay me to do it. And I think I do it well. And then, and then for them to come back with not quite half of the quoted price, but a majority less than what I would give even at a 20% discount to military or veterans out there and things of that nature. it would be well significantly more than 20% off. What is your opinion on that subject matter? I know some that are on here right now have already answered that question on my Facebook page. So that's just the main question. What would you do? Stick to your guns, or would you bow down to their price, redo, and be like, oh, yes, that is what I was thinking myself? Because I've already got Casey's answer on the other side. So, Casey, you do not have to answer if you don't want to. But you are more than welcome to answer, because I really don't know who all is on here, because I don't know if this is accurate reading of how many people are actually here or not. So I know I get X amount of people throughout, that are hitting it and then leaving. So, but we're up to 22.9 thousand likes. I appreciate that. And then another topic that was just brought up that I saw last night was there was a person on one of my comic book sectors, one of the pages that I follow there, that is for indie comic creators and stuff like that. That was like, okay, so here's the question. If you do a Kickstarter and you've supported other people in the past on their Kickstarters, and they don't support you on your Kickstarter, what does that really mean? Do they look at the volume of Kickstarters that you've supported them on, and then they don't support you on your Kickstarter? My answer to that was, I've supported many of artists out here on many platforms, from TikTok to Facebook, to people I've met on Facebook, to people I've met on TikTok. I've bought from their Kickstarter. I've bought from their shops. I've bought from them personally. Have they bought a single thing from me? Absolutely not. Because most of them are in it just for themselves. They don't care if you support them, because they're not going to turn around and support you back. Now, if they, had you on a cover, that is their consideration for helping you, because they paid you to do the cover. And that's the only support you're going to get from them. And it's just a sad fact. And I guarantee a lot of my stuff is better than half the stuff that's out there on Kickstarter right now. But they don't see it that way, because they're in the know with people, and they kiss ass more than most other people to get where they are. Then, yes, they're on more covers. Yes, they're doing this. Yes, they're doing that. But here's another thing. Are you writing your own comic book? Are you drawing all your internal pages? Are you doing all of your covers? Are you doing all of your own advertising? You might be able to answer one of those questions. Yeah, I'm doing the cover work. Yeah, it's my thought pattern. No, I'm not writing it, but yes, I will read the script to make sure it's following along what I thought it was going to be. And I can do that with a lot of creators. Now, there's a lot of creators out there that are doing that. They're doing everything from start to finish, just like me. I'm doing the covers. Yes, I'm going to pull in 3 other artists for each cover of my book. I am writing the book. That's why it's taking forever. I'm not a writer, but I'm writing the book. I'm doing all the internal pages. Sucks 100%. I'm not a sequential artist by any means. My first sequential pages on art was for Patrick Hickey's Condry's Man Best Friend, which is in hardcover and in digital right now. Not hardcover, but it's in physical form, in physical comic book form. I should be getting my copies here. I don't know when yet, but I got to make sure he autographs each and every one of them this time. But not many artists can say they did from start to finish, from the formulation stage to the finishing stage. And I want to be in that category where I started this project, I finished this project. And that's my life goal right now, is to get this 4-issue miniseries out. Why a 4-issue miniseries? I haven't talked about it in a while. But Marvel used to do these 4-issue miniseries back in the 80s and early 90s. And they might still do some now, but it was big in the 80s and early 90s. And they used to take major characters, or sometimes major characters, but sometimes minor characters that were in groups. Say, let's just pull out the Uncanny X-Men, because they did it for Colossus, they did it for Magic, they did it for Nightcrawler, Iceman, um, so on and so forth. Beast was in there, all that good stuff. They did all these 4-issue miniseries that gave you more insight into that specific character that was in the group format, that you didn't get to see his solo adventures or her solo adventures or whatever until you saw this book. I mean, they even did Kitty Pryde and Wolverine as a group dynamic together. And that was a 6-issue miniseries. But they did all these little miniseries that gave you more insight into the character, where they came from, what they were best known for, and things of that nature. And that's what I want to bring back into the comic realm. Instead of these maxi series, instead of these long runs of things. Now, if it takes off, fine. That'll be perfect. I would love for it to take off, you know, and give all these other characters life from inside the book. Because you're only going to get a glimpse of certain characters throughout the book. To say that I am still in character development is an understatement. I've got the main character, the main antagonist. It's got cryptids. It's got mythological creatures. It's got ghosts and goblins. I mean, it's a horror mythological book is what it is. You've got witches, warlocks, fairies, Bigfoots, aliens. I mean, you chupacabras, you name it. If it's a mythological cryptid or whatever, you're probably going to get a glimpse of it in this book somehow, some way, some form, fashion, or another. And because I am fascinated with that stuff. I live in a haunted house. That's why I'm telling you to look right here, right there, to watch those little spots, to watch this spot over here, to watch anything. Like I said, this cat ball went rolling across my desk, and instead of it rolling off my desk like it should have, it rolled literally across my desk and landed red dot up, straight up, on top of my American flag. Should not have happened, because it should not have rolled straight. It should have rolled at an angle with the way it would have came off of this eraser right here. But and so I am fascinated with the unknown. I am fascinated with cryptids. I have been since I was a kid when I saw my first demon. You know, and so I am incorporating all of this into a comic book, and I'm hoping it's going to be cool. You know, that's the main thing. You hope that your comic book is going to be cool, that people will want to read it more in depth. So, maybe whenever I get the first one completely written, I will let some of my um, writer friends uh, read it and be like, "Yeah, this is something I would like to read," or "No, you need to change some parts in here," or something like that. So, that's the main thing, is that I want to do this book start to finish. Yes, I'm going to have different contributors on the cover, and probably some pinups and things like that for the graphic novel that will hook all the books together with all the covers, all that good stuff in one book as well. And yes, that's always been a thought in my mind, is to have a graphic novel, because most books do. Um, or they come out with a graphic novel of certain storylines, like The Long Halloween for Batman, or God Loves, Man Kills, Uncanny X-Men, um, Executioner Saga, those type things. Many different books, you know, encompass a specific area, and sometimes they do an anthology series where they reprint, Uncanny X-Men 1 through 10 in a graphic novel, and then you can get the, issues 1 through 10 in the graphic novel, and then 11 through, 21 or whatever, however they work it out. And so you can get the entire Uncanny X-Men, run in graphic novel form by getting X amount of volumes, until it ended in 2001. Is that right? 2001 or 2011? I get those two mixed up all the time. But they never should have ended that series whatsoever from the 1963 run, um, in my opinion, because they just butchered it thereafter. Yes, a lot of the comic books have gone up in value from the volumes 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and whatever they're up to now, up to volume 8, I think, is where they're at now. I don't know. But they have literally butchered the characters into characters we don't even recognize as the originals anymore. Um, and that's sad. It's a sad state of existence when it comes to that. So, but it is what it is, and they will continue to butcher comics. And then I see a lot of independent uh, comic book artists like myself that are griping about how um, the mainstream comic collector won't switch over to an indie comic book, even though they're griping about how bad the writing is over here or the artwork is over here and so on and so forth. And, it's to each their own. You can gripe and you can bellow and you can yell until you're blue in the face. If they don't like independent comics, they don't like independent comics. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. I've loved independent comics ever since I can remember. I mean, why the hell else am I going to have Elf Lord in my collection? You know, a fun read from an unknown comic company. You know, um, Eclipse Comics, not technically an underground comic book company, but they pretty much were. Entity Comics was one of those that wasn't a well-known title either back in the day, but yet I still have those in my collection because why? They were fun reads. They were great titles, and I enjoyed them. I'm always looking for obscure independent comics when I can find them. That's why I look at other creators at comic book conventions when I'm there, and we'll trade with them or we'll just flat out buy their stuff. I've bought in full runs from people that I still need to get bagged and boarded. Um, Very well done comics, very well written. Now you get some that are just like, well, I'm going to buy it because you're a creator here at the show, and I've seen you sold a few copies, but you haven't sold a ton. But and sometimes I'll be nice, and then I'll get into their stuff. It's just like, well, this is cool, you know. And there's been a few that are that way. That I was like, well, I'm going to be nice and buy their stuff because I haven't seen a whole lot of people come to their booth and things of that nature. So and end up liking their stuff and getting in contact with them even more and becoming friends over time and bantering ideas back and forth, and that's what it is in the independent realm is to become a community to where you can banter ideas back and forth. Now, with that being said, if you're going to use chat gpt or any AI program to create your shit with, I can still be friends with you and completely disagree with you at the same time. I don't have to be a dick and be like, well, hope you don't burn in hell. over your decision. But there are certain things that I just can't tolerate when it comes to using AI to create your stuff with. When it comes to being a creator, because this is where your creativity should come from. Hand drawing your stuff, erasing it. I mean, now if you're using the tablet and things like that, that is not AI creation. You know, you're still drawing it by hand, you're still adding the colors in, you're still giving it dimension and things of that nature. I know a lot of digital creators, and I have no problems with them because I watch what they do. I see how they do it. Now, digital creation is a lot easier than the traditional hand drawn stuff because, oh, I don't like this pose. I can change the head by doing this or redrawing this, or, you know, just by one little erase button, I can get rid of that layer that I just created, you know, those type things. Whereas us, traditional pencil, pen artists, we make a mistake. We got to either figure it out or run with that mistake and make it look like part of the drawing, you know. We can't always erase enough times to make it work. So, you know, it's like I would rather do it this way on a regular basis than have something create it for me. Because if I'm having a program create it for me, I am no longer an artist. I am no longer a creator. I am just a tool for the app because the app just created this from my what I told it to put what I wanted to create, you know. And unfortunately, there's a ton of keyboard warriors out there that are going to disagree with that statement, and I don't care. You know, again, I don't care. And it's like not everybody's opinion is going to be the same. There's tons of people that love the AI bullshit. There's tons of people that will love the AI apps. There's tons of people that love to have the AI shit turned on all their see my brain on all of their phones or computers or whatever, all their gadgets. And I love to have it all turned off as much as I possibly can. Just like the AI prompts that it pulls up on here that it wants me to talk about. I don't use any of that shit because why? I don't like AI. Period. 100%. AI can go to hell for all I care. And if you use it on a regular basis, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. There's real artists out there that would love your business and would love to create you something of heart, of something with a soul, with passion. But I know a lot of people want that easy, quick fix. And that's what I talk about, a guy that I know that wanted to be a sponsor of mine and still wants to help me out, but he's going a completely different direction than I want to go. He is falling into the ease of AI. He is falling into the ease of um, I don't have to pay an artist to create my characters. He's falling into the ease of I can do it myself. I can create a whole cartoon of my series if I wanted to right now. And I get it. I totally understand. AI makes your life easier. I get it. Totally. I could have my entire book done already and out in print right now if I used AI. But that takes away the creative genius, the figuring out your panels, the figuring out the pose you really want here. Yeah, I could take shortcuts, but it isn't going to happen. And my book is probably going to be in black and white, not in color. The cover pages will be in color. There might be some pops of color on the inside, but for the most part, I'm thinking about just doing it straight black and white first, and then and then doing a colorized version of it later, depending on how it sells. Because you don't want to limit yourself, you know. And I know people love color comics, but I also know people love their black and white comics as well. And some of the black and white comics are some of the most beautiful comics out there. I don't know. I know if I opened up the Elf Lord, there would be some black and white in there. But I just wanted to look through here real fast. Because 90% of the time, yeah, so see, this is a black and white comic, The Ferryman, right here. I'm going to have to do this little number right here. But right here, 2-page black and white. Okay. Oops. Oops. Sorry. Right there. 2-page black and white. Right there. This is the first page. And here's the second page. Right here. 2 pages of black and white. Right there. And that's it on that. And it's beautiful. I mean, it's got everything you need. I don't know why that just dinged on me, but especially over there. Maybe it was in my ears. I don't know. But 2-page comic, I think. Yeah. So this was just a straight up 2-page comic. It says River Tissa, late 1800s. The story of the ferryman begins. Meets a mermaid. Mermaid kills fisherman. Sinks his or flips him over. He goes under. His boat is left. River Tissa, late 1800s. The story of the ferryman ends. So there you go. And it's got everything you need in it. But it's just a black and white story. And there's a lot of black and white stories that, oh, right here. I mean, this right here. Straight black and white story. It doesn't need color. So, you know, as you get into it, this is a whole, sounds like the rain is starting. But you've got a whole black and white right here. And it's just beautiful. The smudge work, the ink blots. I mean, the way they've done it, it's just fantastic. And I love it. And then you get into the more not safe for work stuff that you definitely don't want your children reading. So don't pick up Heavy Metal magazine if you don't want your children traumatized. Um, just like I saw a TikTok video of a woman traumatized her child for life. Um, she had a clamp that the kid had on her tongue. Well, the mom had a fake tongue in her mouth, and the mom put the clamp on her tongue. Well, the kid goes to grab the clamp, and when she grabs the clamp, mom lets the tongue fall out of her mouth. And so the kid's got the clamp in her hand, the tongue falls to the ground, and mom holds her mouth up like this. And the kid starts crying and runs out of the house. Now that kid's going to need therapy for the rest of her life. Um, you know, yeah, it was funny, but not for the kid. You know, yeah, the rain is starting to pour in now, and they did say 5 o'clock, so there we go. We got that thunderstorm moving in. We might have some hail. We might have some, tornadoes, all that good stuff. But I've got lawn chairs out back on the deck that I've just built, and get to go sit out there and watch it come through. I think that'll be cool. Very very cool stuff. But all right, folks, if you do have any thoughts or comments that you would like to do, you can hit me up in my DMs. Also, don't forget to tell those people out there that you love them on a regular basis. That's your friends, that's your family. Tomorrow's not promised to anybody. We just lost two friends of ours that we used to work with. Both of them passed away within days of each other, apparently. And one died on the second, and the other one I can't remember exactly when she passed, but they both passed away here recently. And they were good eggs. They were dirty old ladies, but they were fun. They were, and when I say older, they were older ladies. Uh, Miss Mary and Gwen will be missed. They were a little bit of a light to the world out there, but they did end up passing away at the beginning of this month. So, and that is that, folks. We're gonna go ahead and what up, Ninja? Welcome to the show. You're right here at the end. We just got done talking about comic books. We got done talking about comic book artwork, my artwork, all that goody good stuff. So what are you up to? What's going on in your world? I was hoping some more cool stuff would happen with this cat ball that has already happened earlier. 1 hour ago, actually, before the show started. Finished a 12-hour night shift. I'm sorry. So you're going home to crash. Oh, beer 30. Well, it is 5 o'clock somewhere, as they say. So, beer 30 for you. Well, I hope that ice cold one does your body good. Uh, After that 12-hour shift, I get the 12-hour shifts. I've done those before. And when I was night security for a hotel. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, no, I get that. I didn't say you were crying. Yeah, everybody wants that money. Everybody's chasing that illustrious dollar. I get it. I mean, that's why, you know, I do what I do. This type of stuff right here. Mr. Ghostface. Right there. And then the commission I'm working on right here. I was hoping he'd come by and pick up his piece, his memorial piece. Right here. He hasn't picked it up yet. I gotta call him. And then of course I've got all these pieces. Me as Wolverine right here. Right there. Before I do me as Forge again. That I drew up a long time ago. But that's the heavy inks on this one. Before the color goes down. The Harley Who Laughs. That goes with the Batman Who Laughs. Didn't know she existed. And she's been out since 2022. And I did two different ones because she does have two different masks. Right there. I appreciate that. That's just what I do. This is a memorial piece as well for another friend that passed away. She was a witch and she loved some Stitch. But it's been 2 months of no payment, and so I'm not working on that one anymore for a while. And he keeps giving me a runaround. And then this is the Batman Who Laughs that I'm working on as well. Inks are coming up next on this one. And yes, this is me posing for this position. But that's what I do. That's what we do here. And one of these days, I'll have my comic book out in the world and people can pick it up. But right now, it's still in writing phase. So there you go. There you go. All right, my friends. I know some of you are just getting on here, but I appreciate each and everybody being here, stopping in, checking things out. I am going to kill it for tonight or for now because that storm is blowing through. We might lose power and we might lose internet. So I'm going to go ahead and kill things and get things shut off so that we don't blow any computers. Although I need to replace these anyway, but they're not under insurance for the most part. I mean, they kind of are, but through the house insurance. But anyway, you all have a great day. And like I say, as I leave you guys, and we're at 34,000 likes, which is a great popular live category side of things. And those of you stopping in, checking us out, go ahead and go back and watch the full thing. But as I like to say, as I leave you guys, we will catch you on the flip side. Have a good day, everybody.